Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Russell Wortham Show, coming to you live from beautiful Tucson, Arizona, a stone's throw away from the University of Arizona and in the shadow of the Grand Canyon. Folks, we're back and back in the middle of greatness for the last show of 2018. Thank you for being here. Very big shout out, obviously, to the people that have watched this show. Hopefully, we'll grow, change, evolve, get better at this sort of thing in the new year. So, this is the Russell Wortham Show, the flagship show. So, this show today is going to be a little bit truncated. Don't worry, we're still going to get all of our stuff in, but it's going to be a little bit truncated. We're going to, of course, talk about news. We're going to talk WWE and sports, but also we are doing the 2018 Bestie Awards. So I'll explain those when we get to that point. So, first things first, happy holidays to all of you. I missed you guys last week. As I'm sure you probably heard, I had five. Okay, I had a little baby one up top. I had five wisdom teeth taken out this past week, and I was not really miserable, but yeah, it's never fun having teeth extracted. But got those taken out. I feel like a million times better. So I am extremely grateful for that. Now, uh, this past 24 hours or so have been just absolutely mind boggling to me with everything that's going on in the world. If you haven't heard, I'm like, okay, what rock have you been under? But more importantly, I'm like, Donald Trump goes out of his way. I believe this was yesterday, and he said, "That's it. I'm done. I want out of Syria." Yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically the gist of his tweet. And I thought to myself, "Holy crap! He wants out of Syria? Why?" I I couldn't believe it. This was against the advice and counsel of military officials, the now former Defense Secretary James Mattis, members of Congress, our allies. Donald Trump just didn't care. As per usual, he just didn't care. He didn't care who he ran down, so he was like, fine, whatever, vaya con Dios, go with God. I'm out of here. So the Defense Department is trying to scramble now to see how we can get the 2,500 soldiers safely out of Syria. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a really bad idea. This is a really bad mistake because we just were starting to gain some traction, some ground on ISIS. We leave, who the heck knows? Maybe ISIS comes back, and then we have a bigger problem on our hands. It's pretty crazy. So there was that, and then of course James Mattis yesterday around this time uh, went to the White House, talked to Donald Trump, said, "You know what? This is not cool. We need to stay. Please reconsider." Trump wouldn't budge, so Mattis said, "All right, adios. I'm done." He handed in his resignation letter, and it was blistering. I won't go through the letter because you can find it for yourself, but it was a pretty stunning rebuke. It was a really stunning rebuke. And you're losing 4 decades of military knowledge, experience, temperament, alliance building. You're losing that. But again, the President of the United States of America, Donald John Trump, doesn't care. By pointing out how Syria, we've just made not only ourselves, but our allies, people that, such as myself, who care about Israel, we've made them less safe. But again, Donald Trump doesn't care. If you care about Israel, if you care about the, and I'm not even going in biblical terms, but if you care, if you say you care about Israel, this has to scare the holy crap out of you. This has to. Because this is putting them in danger. Directly in danger from their neighbors. Who frankly want to wipe them off the face of the earth. Donald Trump says that he's a friend of Israel. What he did yesterday, spit in the face of that. So, this is talking directly and solely to Donald Trump's base. Why are you still following this guy? Why are you still believing what Donald Trump is saying and selling when he frankly doesn't care about Israel, doesn't care about our safety, our security in the long term? He doesn't care. If he will abandon our friends, if he will abandon the same people, and this is where I will say this in biblical terms, if he will abandon Israel, who is important on so many levels, okay? Just they just are. Israel is important on so many levels from a biblical standpoint. And if we're abandoning them because of this America First policy, which frankly has failed and has gotten the whole world to laugh at us, why are you Trump supporters even wanting to like this guy anymore? I don't get it. I think to myself, okay, well, maybe this is just a phase and maybe things are going to get better. And then I have to remind myself, oh, yeah, Trump's not rational. He doesn't care about rational stuff. Given my previous statements, now this is going off of Arizona time. We are less than 9 hours away from a partial governmental shutdown. That Donald Trump in the Oval Office told Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, I will gladly own it. I will take the mantle. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to blame you for the shutdown. But what did he do just today? He tweets out, well, the government's going to shut down and I'm blaming the Democrats. Oh, and this is going to be a long shutdown. So if you're a government official, if you're a government worker, if you're a federal worker, you're losing money. You're losing money that, frankly, this is 4 days away from Christmas. Look, in summation, I hope people finally get that Donald Trump is not the person that we want him to be. He just isn't. And he never will be. And unfortunately, we've got 2 years left. We've got to hold by the seat of our pants for the next 2 years and hope that we can get past this guy to somebody that wants to include all of us, and not just the sum of us. Anyway, so that is the news part of the show. Now on to WWE, and you had tables, ladders, and chairs on Sunday, and it was really good. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch it. It was amazing. So we start off at the pre-show with Buddy Murphy, the best kept secret in all of WWE, defeating Cedric Alexander for the or to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. It was brilliant. They were going back and forth. They were hitting moves that were just nuts. I loved it. Buddy Murphy, he is the best kept secret in all of WWE. He just is. So then you had Elias beating Bobby Lashley in a ladder match. One of Elias's guitars was hanging above the ring, and you had to retrieve it. And this rivalry, if you will, storyline between Elias and Bobby Lashley just needs to go away. People don't care. They're both better than this, frankly, and I sincerely doubt that Bobby Lashley came back to WWE to be placed in a garbage fill in the show, match. But that's what he's been doing since he came back. So we open up the show improper with the Fabulous Truth, which is Carmella, and R-Truth defeating Mahalisha, which is Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal, to win the mixed match challenge. There we go. It was a good match. It was an okay match. It was more comedic than anything. It was nice touches to have R-Truth say, "We're going to WWE headquarters," and so yeah, I thought that was pretty fun. And then next up, you had the Bar versus the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Championships. The Bar won. Again, good match. It was a little slow for my liking. The Usos really weren't a factor in that match. But yeah. And then, of course, you had Braun Strowman beating Baron Corbin in TLC match. You had people like Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, aka Glorious. You had Finn Balor. You had Apollo Crews. You had other people come out, just beat the holy heck out of Baron Corbin, throw him back in. Braun Strowman, just steps on him for the 3 count, and Baron Corbin is no longer the Raw general manager. Natty defeats Ruby Riott in a tables match. It was a really good match. Nice pacing. I liked the story that they told with Natty's dad, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. It was a really awesome match. It was a really good match. Um, Next up, you had Finn Balor beating Drew McIntyre. Now, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought they were going to give Drew the win, but it was a good match. It was nice, again, nice pacing, and I like their chemistry together. Rey Mysterio defeating Randy Orton in a chairs match. That was also a surprise. I thought, oh, they're not going to give Ray the win, but they did. Pleasantly surprised. Ronda Rousey defeating Nia Jax. It was a good match. Ronda sold a lot for Nia, which I thought was brilliant. I'm still not really feeling Ronda Rousey as the women's champion, but she is getting better. I will grant you that. Okay. Um, then you had the new Daniel Bryan defeating AJ Styles. That was a heck of a match. I mean, beat him clean, no low blows, just beat him clean. I thought it was a brilliant match. Dean Ambrose beat Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship, and finally, Asuka and I'm just gonna spoil the Bestie Awards just a tad. Uh, Asuka beating both Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in the first ever women's TLC match of the year. Match of the year. It was that incredible. That was the match of the year. Uh, so there is that. Right. So finally, before we get to the Bestie Awards, let's go through the NBA and NFL standings. And as always, we're going to give you the top four seeds in the East and in the West in the NBA as they are right now. In the East, Toronto still hanging in there at your number one seed, 24-9. Milwaukee, 21-9. Philadelphia is your number three seed. I mean, who would have thought that even a couple of years ago? They're 21-12, and your number four seed is Indiana at 20-12. And Cleveland, they're starting to move up, inch up, actually. They're still 8-24, but they're not dead last. So that's gonna be something. Now out west, Denver. Oh man, they are just world beaters this year. They are 21-9. Oklahoma City is your number two seed at 20-10. Golden State hanging in there, third seed, 21-11. But don't sleep on the Los Angeles Lakers, your number four seed, folks. They have moved up. They are moving places. They are 18-13. So that is that. All right. And then finally, before we get to the besties, we've got the NFL standings getting closer to the end of the year, closer to playoff time. So, we've got New England out in the AFC East at 9-5. They could have. They've had a couple of chances to close out the division, but they've faltered. So we'll we'll see. I still think they'll win the AFC East, but yeah. Miami 7-7, Buffalo 5-9, the Jets 4-10. Up in the FC North, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers 8-5-1, the Ravens at 8-6, Cleveland at 6-7-1, and the Bengals at 6-8. In the South, you've got the Texans at 10-4, Indianapolis 8-6, Tennessee at 8-6, and Jacksonville at 4-10. And out west, the Chiefs and the Chargers both 11-3. The Broncos are 6-8, and the Raiders are at 3-11. Now over in the NFC, you've got the Dallas Cowboys 8-6, Philadelphia and Washington 7-7, and New York at 5-9. Up north, you've got the Chicago Bears 10-4. They're just doing insane this year. Minnesota 7-6-1, Green Bay at 5-8-1, and Detroit at 5-9. Down south, you have the New Orleans Saints at 12-2, Carolina at 6-8, Atlanta 5-9, and Tampa Bay also at 5-9. And finally, out west, you've got the Los Angeles Rams 11-3. You've got the Seattle Seahawks at 8-6, San Francisco at 4-10, and the Arizona Cardinals at 3-11. Going very quickly to the playoff picture. If the playoffs were to start right today, so in the wild card round, it would be the Ravens versus the Patriots, the Chargers versus the Steelers. The winners would take on Kansas City and Houston, respectively. In the NFC, you'd have the Vikings versus the Bears, and the Seahawks versus the Cowboys. The winners would be facing the Saints and the Los Angeles Rams, respectively. And then you've got a bunch of teams that are still in the mix. All right, so that is your NFL and NBA fix for this last show of 2018. Now, very quickly to the Bestie Awards. This is basically the best of the best in news, WWE, and sports. So, your 2018 male newsmaker of the year is, of course, Robert Mueller. Guy is trying to safeguard our democracy. There is no debate that Russia hacked our election. They tried to influence our election. And Robert Mueller is trying to ferret out the people that committed conspiracy with Russia to do that. So anyway, the female newsmaker of the year is Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. She is, she needs a ton of praise and admiration for even stepping up in the face of adversity and saying, I was sexually assaulted. I understand that people are going to say, well, there was no rape. This was 36 years ago. Oh my gosh. And I'm thinking, yeah, but she still can't go home. She can't go back to her regular life. And meanwhile, Brett Kavanaugh is on the Supreme Court. How fair is that? Not very fair in my estimation. The moment of the year, as strange as it seems, because I'm not a Trump supporter, not even remotely close, but the moment of the year was the historic meeting between uh, Trump and Kim Jong Un in Singapore. I thought this is surreal. United States president is shaking hands with the president of North Korea. What kind of bizarre world are we in? you know, uh, story of the year has to be the Russia investigation, and all the twists and the turns and you know, the different things going on with that. And then finally, uh, the award, if you will, what I like to call the "You Were Only Supposed to Blow the Bloody Doors Off" award in news this year has to go to Donald John Trump. I'm like, all he had to do was let the dreamers, let the DACA people have a path towards citizenship, and you'd get $25 billion for your wall. That was earlier this year, and Trump didn't do it. He just couldn't see himself doing that. And here we are now, mere hours away from a partial governmental shutdown. Anyway, in WWE, your 2018 Male Wrestler of the Year goes to Seth Rollins. Guy was amazing. He had the best matches. He was the most consistent. He absolutely just encapsulated the excitement of WWE, and he propped up WWE in the absence of Brock Lesnar. So he is. So Seth Rollins is your male wrestler of the year. Female wrestler of the year, Becky Lynch. She absolutely deserved everything she got, and then some. She took risks and she made herself relevant. So that was incredible. The storyline of the year has to be, of course, Roman Reigns and his fight with leukemia. The you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off moment has to be Shane McMahon winning the Best in the World tournament at the Crown Jewel event. So there's that. Finally, to sports, your male sports athlete of the year is LeBron James, not only for his play on the court, but his positive community outreach with schools and the like, and all that. Your female of the year, female athlete of the year is Serena Williams for her comeback from pregnancy and So she's just absolutely amazing, no doubt about that. The moment of the year was when North and South Korea marched in together at the Olympics. And the you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off moment was the missed free throws slash dribbling out the clock. Game one of the finals. Uh, Cleveland had that game. They fought back and they just couldn't. If they would have sank those free throws, they would have won. And they didn't. They dribbled out the ball. That was a mistake. And they lost that game. They got swept. LeBron leaves. So, anyway, that is the last show for this year, folks. Thank you again so much for being here. I will be back again sometime in the new year. Not exactly sure when, still trying to figure that out. We're going to try to spruce things up in the meantime, try to get things better. But again, thank you very much. Happy holidays to all of you. And until I see you again next time, this is Russell Wortham, and as always, just like the Beatles sang all those many years ago, love is all you need. I will see you guys in 2019.